Dateline Norman. Russia's two Sputniks collided in midair above the 50-yard line here Saturday afternoon. The sun set in the east. Hitler was discovered alive in Washington, D.C. And almost equally as incredible, the University of Oklahoma lost a football game. In a flaming defensive duel before a record turnout of 62,000, Notre Dame raided the greatest gridiron fortress collegiate circles have ever known, thoroughly outplaying the Sooners and shattering their 47-game streak with a thumping 7-0 decision.
That day was a dark, not rainy, but a dark, cloudy day. I don't think the sun was out all day long, and it certainly didn't come out after the game was over. When the game was over, it seemed like everybody just sat there. They'd thinking, well, it's not over because we didn't win.
I was almost 13. I was about a week away from my 13th birthday, and I went to the game with my dad like I usually did in those days, and we had really good seats. We were on the 50-yard line on the east side, and I don't remember all the details and everything, but I definitely remember being there in the stadium that day. I saw a lot of people crying in the stands when the game was over, and nobody got up and left. A lot of people just sat there like they were just in a state of shock. You know, they couldn't believe it, and there were lots of people crying, that's for sure.
I moved to Norman in February of 1953, and the first OU game I ever attended was the Notre Dame game of 1953, and we lost that one. But that was when the streak started the next week. Of course, we all had expectations, and it was really, there was a lot of radio and TV and newspaper hullabaloo about the game, you know. And I just thought we were going to win, and I thought it would happen, and it didn't. I would think that looking back on that time and that type of game, it was rather boring because neither team really made a lot of yardage. I don't remember what the total yardage was. I have no idea, but it couldn't have been very much because neither team really made any big plays of any kind. And on that final when they made that final drive and made a touchdown, it was probably 5, 6, 7 minutes long, you know. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. You know, it went back to that.
Then, as a young boy, I thought, well, maybe they'll start another winning streak, you know, who knows? They may win 57 in a row or something, but it has kind of become now a thing almost like the Kennedy's assassination or something. Where were you when you heard Kennedy was assassinated? And were you there when OU lost to Notre Dame? Where were you that day? Do you remember that? Among people of my generation, you know. It seems now a much bigger thing than it did 50 years ago, really, you know.
The chances of that happening these days, or in the last few years or in the next few years, I think would be pretty small because the game has changed so much.
There isn't an OU fan anywhere that wants to see that streak broken. I'm sure they're pretty happy when a Southern Cal loses or whoever has the longest streak going, you know. I'm sure they're very glad to see that. We'd like to keep the record, and I think we will, you know, because now with parity and all the upsets that you see, I just don't see anybody winning that many games in a row, in OU at OU's level of competition.